the paint, force teams to shoot threes, and it has completely changed them. You see the first 9 games versus last 8, and what a job Coach Porter Moser has done at keeping this team convicted that there is a path to the NCAA tournament when you're talking about the SEC and the schedule and all the opportunities ahead of them. And this is an Oklahoma team that this is not the time of the year you want to be seeing them because they're playing their best basketball.
Well, nobody wants to see Michi Johnson on the other side. He's got low goal range, and he proved it to close out the regular season. Saturday at the Pavilion in Ole Miss, from the credit court logo, delivers the game winner in a 3-point victory for South Carolina. Michi finished with 17. He's been in double digits 17 consecutive games. The line is he's in range when he steps off the bus. I don't care if he walked here, rode a bike, took a Lime scooter. He was in range when he put the uni on.
Yeah, he shoots on average from about 27 feet out. You see how that compares to an NBA three-point line. You've got to guard him out there. But the thing that's changed him is he came to South Carolina on round 2 of his career here with the Gamecocks to be a point guard. And his ability to facilitate, get others involved, has gone through the roof since early in his career.
Michi Johnson is a true team leader. It was a tough season last year for him. He had kidney surgery in the offseason. He said, I dedicated myself coming into this year to being a better player, a better point guard, a better passer. He has met all of those goals that he set for himself. Top 10 in the league in scoring and assists. And here comes Oklahoma on a day and a couple of days where other bubble teams have fallen by the wayside. Virginia Tech lost in the ACC tournament yesterday. Cincinnati lost in overtime to UCF today. Cal lost to Florida State. Stanford lost in the ACC. Indiana got blown out by Northwestern by 13 in the Big Ten tournament. Porter Moser has told his team there is a path. The path is becoming clearer with every result that rolls in. All they have to do is keep playing and not head to the clubhouse with the score reported. So here we go, underway. Oklahoma 17-14, 7-11 in the league, coming off of an overtime win at Texas on Saturday. Controls the tip. MBB feeds it inside. A Tay Davis dunk. What a start for OU.
That's exactly where Oklahoma wants to hit. Their big man is on the short roll and then look for that cutter. Perfect execution out of the jump.
109th career start in 148 games for this 5th-year senior Michi Johnson. Tay Davis is the best defender for Oklahoma, one of the best in the league. He draws the assignment on number 5.
Yeah, he's guarded everyone from Acuff to now Michi Johnson, but they'll switch some. Elijah Strong, 31 in black, is the guy that can really get it going early. He had an 11-0 run the last 2 times these teams met, and that was from the tip.
Yeah, scored the first 11. Michi tees up the 3, off the mark, and rebounded by OU. Here's Xavier Brown, 18 points a game the last 3. Nigel Pack for 3, yes sir. Pack bangs it home. He's 5th in the country, 45% from deep.
I don't know that they have a top 68 resume yet, but they're playing like one of the top teams in the country, especially with those 2 guards and that duo.
Whoa, Mike Johnson with the dunk on the lob. Dad was a globetrotter, and he's able to throw it down with a senior from Mongolia.
It's a good job wrapping that flare screen all the way to the basket.
McGee kicks it into the corner. Davis blocked. Big time move by E.J. Walker, who's moved to the starting lineup of the last handful of games. Here's Sharon Johnson. Michi Johnson looking inside. They got Pack posted up. Kobe Knox, baseline jumper good. Well, this is a little bit different than our first game tonight. We've actually seen some points scored in the first 2 minutes.
Well, and South Carolina plays in the half court on 86% of their offensive possessions. That's tops in the SEC. They're very comfortable, and you have to be able to do that because this is an Oklahoma team that just never gives up fast break points.
An Oklahoma turnover by Xavier Brown.
Take a look at that nice back screen there. Sheriff jumps, gets up high, and does the rest. But a nice set play there. You're expecting him to flare for 3, and instead they wrap it for the lob.
Kobe Knox gives it up. Here's Strong. And he buries a mid-range jumper. Elijah Strong, originally committed to Wofford, coming out of Myers Park in Charlotte. changed his mind, decommitted, opened up his recruitment late in his senior year, ended up in Boston College, and then to Carolina.
Lamont Paris with an emphatic clap when Strong made that, because he said, look, if there's one player on our team, if he sees the first one go in, it's typically going to be a good night. It's that guy.
Q-Zip zipped all the way up for the energetic Lamont Paris. Fourth season as a head man at South Carolina. It was reported before this tournament started he'll be back for season number 5. We talked to him about it yesterday, and he said, I wanted to make sure that I had a commitment from the school, because if you want me to leave and you're not going to give me the resources in this league, fine, I'll go coach in the YMCA. But in this league, you've got to have the resources to compete.
Look, there's certain leagues out there where the bottom half don't really have the budget available, not the SEC. And he's hilarious, too. He said, back in my day, if a coach told you to defend with one leg and he put his leg up in a quad stretch and started bouncing around in a defensive stance, he said, I'd get down and guard with one leg if he asked me to.
Oddly enough, I understand that was your best dance movie behind.
Sure.
Here's Knox. Lost pack through the double. And then Walker blew it, but there's Sherm Johns with the putback.
But that all starts with a terrific 45 angle cut, as they call it. Move on penetration. Inside shot, inside rebound.
Whoa, what a rejection by Knox. Picks up the carom. Left it short. And a turnover sent it back the other way to Oklahoma.
And you'll see where this cut comes from, as 6 and Black Walker, he's going to come from that wing on penetration. That's a 45 cut while the whole defense is staring at the ball. He sneaks in behind, misses the bunny, but the job was already done, leading to the easy tip-in.
For South Carolina, number 10, for 15, Eli Ellis. Number 24.
Eli Ellis checks in for South Carolina. Nice dunk by Patrick, and a high percentage shot by Tate Davis, who's got 4 of the Sooners' 9.
Just a good little two-man game, and that works because you got so many shooters on the opposite side. South Carolina can't load up in the help spot.
Ellis gives it up. Deep 3. Good. That's what he is there for. North Campus. He has really struggled shooting ball. The South Carolina team as a whole has, even though they've got guys back of the card says they can. They just haven't. Davis again. He's got a half dozen already.
Both teams playing extremely well on offense to start this game. And we talked about Oklahoma's confidence, but this is a South Carolina team that finally had something good happen. To close the regular season with a thrilling road victory, you can see the energy and pop and confidence. As Pat Bradley said, they get good shots. It's just a matter of if they can make them.
Carolina last in the league in scoring 75 points a game. Here's Ellis for 3. Yes, sir. Eli Ellis splashes one home. That's his first make in 3 games. He came in here on an 0 for 7 skid.
His million-plus TikTok followers love that one. The overtime elite legend.
Are you angling to get more TikTok followers with the mention?
I don't have a login, so I've never actually watched the video.
The collab waiting to happen. All you need is a password. Here's Ellis, freshman from Hickory, North Carolina, a Moravian prep, and then overtime elite. Carolina's got 3 OTE players on this roster. Ellis has some flash to his game. Meechie Johnson draws the whistle, and he'll go to the free throw line. 14-11. Both teams at 60% or better. A sizzling start to South Carolina and Oklahoma. Eli Ellis from deep, and already Gamecocks have banged down a pair of triples. 3-point lead for South Carolina here in Music City. Let's see, what a great sports town, home to the SEC tournament all week. A champion will be crowned on Sunday. South Carolina with a 3-point lead over Oklahoma, the 11 seed, and the Sooners, left for dead in the middle of the season, have come roaring back to life and they're played their way into the bracketology discussion. Here's where it gets interesting. Indiana lost its regular season finale at Ohio State. Then they got demolished by Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament by 13. New Mexico lost at Utah to close the regular season. Stanford lost in the ACC tournament. San Diego State in action tomorrow in the Mountain West. Virginia Tech lost at TCU, lost yesterday. Cincinnati lost against UCF in the Big 12 tournament. Cal lost to Florida State in the ACC tournament. Porter Moser, when he talks about the postseason with his team, has had the same message all season. There's a path. There's a path. In this league, you will have quad one opportunities, and you can make a lot of headway with a little bit of a run. And now all of a sudden, a 4-game win streak, and here comes OU.
Yeah, and they've done it by, yes, shooting the ball extremely well from deep, but more so reinventing their defense. They packed it in, forced teams to shoot from the perimeter. Their goal is to only allow 22-point field goals a game. I mean, that's how much they want to load up. Because they don't have great rim protection, their guards got to be the rim protection by not allowing paint draws.
3 balls, no good. And rebounded by Eli Thompson. Here's Dayton Forsythe. He's played really well off the bench for Oklahoma on this run.
Helps to have 2 good ankles. I mean, he had some injuries early on.
Davis with the push shot. He has provided the offense early. He's got 8 points tonight. His season average is a dozen.
That's a really good sign to get some additional scoring from Zay Davis and take some pressure off these guards.
Kimpich with another triple.
And this is what Lamont Paris thought he had in the offseason, to spread the court with a ton of shooters. And we're starting to see why they were so optimistic despite the season numbers.
Forsythe, too strong, with Studi closing out on him. And Michi Johnson off the ball now, with Eli Ellis bringing it up. And Ellis picked up his dribble, nowhere to go with. Very nearly a 5-second call. Back cut Michi. And fouled hard by Nigel Pack, who had left his feet.
Good recognition there by Johnson. And this really is just a pick and pop. They bring 2 guys towards the ball. Elo Atonsev doesn't really respect the pop that much. He's playing a little bit down in that drop coverage. Again, that's by design. They want teams to settle from 3. I just don't think they want South Carolina to have that clean of a look. Got to close out quicker.
Kimpich has now made 7 of his last 11. Been a breakout season for Michi Johnson, a career best 12 20-point games, 10 of them in league play. From Cleveland, Ohio, and Garfield Heights. In Ohio State, South Carolina, back to Ohio State, back to Carolina. Lamont Paris said there were no feelings hurt when he transferred. This is a new thing. This is a business decision. I don't take it personally. I love the kid. He loves me. I'm tight with the family. I understand the things that he's been through off the court the last couple of years. And so when his name went in the portal, yeah, we got room. It can help make us better.
Said really the only non-negotiable was he wanted to be a primary point guard because he had played off the ball with Cooper in his first stint for South Carolina, understandably so, and he has thrived in that point guard role.
Xavier Brown with his first bucket of the night. It's a 6-point South Carolina lead.
Another reason I'm so bullish on this Oklahoma team right now is that guy Brown. He scores, he assists, and he does not turn the ball over.
Ellis tried to thread the needle, stolen away by Brown.
Great deflection by Jones on the backside help.
Forsythe forgot the basketball, working on Kobe Knox. Here's Tay Davis. Strong start on the offensive end for Davis. And Darion Reed is fouled on his way in.
He gets to the free throw line more than anybody on this Oklahoma team. And over their winning streak, he's been able to drive the ball much harder as opposed to settling from 3. And you see him catch that ball almost on the run as opposed to trying to catch and shoot. Gets to the paint and finds himself at the free throw line.
Two coming for Reed. 74% from the line on the year. He's been in double figures 12 of the last 14 games. Last year, Bama, 6 points, 3 boards a game. At Oklahoma, better than 11 points a game for the Grovetown, Georgia native.
A big dagger corner 3 against Texas. So beautifully illustrated by our buddy Pat Bradley. Oh, he's got your back, Pat.
Taking shots at the shooter. Knox with the left hand. Nice finish. You have an opportunity here this week. You'll be here through Friday night's games. Maybe give a telestrator class to Pat Bradley and teach him.
I can't teach the class, but I know who I'm not sitting next to. That's all I know.
Sheriff jumps, leaves it for Strong. Here's Knox. Quick release of the 3. South Carolina knocks down another. It's Grant Polk this time, who'd really been struggling in league play, only 13%. But now he's made 3 of 5 over the last 2+ games.
You talk about a quick release, as you said, is an understatement. He caught that ball high and just flick of the wrist like the defender wasn't even there.
Brown working on Knox, and it baits him into a foul. The first on Kobe Knox. 9-point lead for South Carolina. They're shooting 69%.
Grant Polk, the freshman from Gainesville, Virginia, in his first SEC tournament minutes, playing like a veteran, catch and stick. And this is what they're all playing for right here. Will there be a Cinderella here in Nashville? Confidence. You can't be surprised when he pulls up from that deep, because he's not only going to take it, but he can make it. We saw the game winner against Ole Miss. He hit one from about 45 feet to keep them in the game at home against Georgia. A comeback that came up short. But Meechie Johnson is a problem and one of the most exciting players we've seen in the SEC.
There's Xavier Brown with the bucket. Since South Carolina came into the SEC, only Meechie Johnson, the legend Devin Downey, and B.J. Mackey have given him 17 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and a steal per game.
Devin Downey came on a recruiting visit when I was at Tennessee, and I've never been so happy to see somebody commit elsewhere. I was like, man, that guy tore us up, me especially. I was like, if he comes, I got no chance.
What, in the scrimmage?
Yeah, we were doing pickup. Yeah. He even won the crap game. I mean, just any way you wanted it.
Little Joe.
Yeah.
7 and 11.
Yeah.
Turnover for Oklahoma.
Back to Little Joe. I learned quick. Slade can attest to this. I learned quick. If you're the house, if you host the craps game, you can just keep 2s and 12s. Then you don't have to lose. You just say it. 2s and 12s. Pay up.
A money man from the jump.
Yeah.
An author and the casino host.
Yeah.
All Devin Downey ended up doing was helping South Carolina knock off Kentucky in the legendary performances. OU picks up Carolina full court. Lamont Paris comes from the Bo Ryan coaching tree, and while there may be times where he wants to have a little bit more tempo, they seem to be very comfortable playing very deliberately. You mentioned percentage of their offense that comes in the half court.
Yeah, they'll be opportunistic and run when they can, but they want to make the defense work a little bit. That's a prime example right there. Meechie Johnson with a shoulder fake, one dribble, get to the elbow, kick to the corner. That's elite point guard play right there.
McGee with the kick out, and floater for Pack is good. He's got 5.
That guy's just a hooper. He's Pack, man. Yes, he's a good 3-point shooter. Makes over 3 a game. Top 10 in the country. But he can make those floater and mid-range shots, too.
And Meechie lost it out of bounds.
Take a look at that penetration by Meechie Johnson. Just hit singles if you're a point guard. Nice little shimmy there. Draws multiple defenders. Kicks to the corner. You can't do it any better than that. Young point guards at home. It doesn't have to be fancy. Don't make the home run pass. Draw multiple defenders. Penetration kills. Shooters will do the rest. South
Carolina has 8 assists on 10 field goals so far in the first 10 minutes. They slack off Pack.
Can't do that. That's lucky on that.
5th in the country, 3-point percentage. Elijah Strong, 6'8", 250. Sharon John skips to the right side. Another three. And a rebound lost out of bounds by Reed. Porter Moser will go to the bench quickly. Dayton Forsythe out of Dale, Oklahoma checks in. And he'll give Pack a breather at the 8:51.
I think this Oklahoma team's pretty happy with what they've been getting on the offensive end, even though they're just 1 of 7 from 3, shooting over 50%. It's just the inability to get any stops right now with the South Carolina team that might be catching them off guard a little bit.
Oklahoma is a little bit small defensively. Here's Knox over Forsythe. McGee with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Well, when his energy level is high, Oklahoma tends to win games. And he can be one of the best rebounders, especially on the offensive end in the SEC.
3 1/3 offensive rebounds a game for the Alabama transfer. Broke his fast earlier tonight here during Ramadan. He came over before the team. And at 6:55, he had IV, played a spaghetti, and a nice reverse layup by Davis. And he was locked in and ready to go.
That's a terrific pass over the top of the defense, where the defense is typically thinking they're not going to see that.
Sharon Johns for 3.
The South Carolina team was always playing hard, and they were executing their offense. They just weren't completing with made shots. And I don't know if it was that walk-off buzzer beater on the road at Ole Miss, but man, they're playing with confidence we haven't seen in a while.
Well, there's nothing to lose, right?
Yep.
I mean, you might as well let it hang. And that's what they are doing. And a near finish, and then a foul. And Kobe Knox holding his left side leg, his left hip almost. Will send us to a timeout here in Nashville. South Carolina shooting the lights out early. 6 threes already for the Cocks. Tonight, think they deserve that. You just give Darius Acup the menu and say whatever you want.
You know what? He's such a good point guard. He'd order enough for the team, dish it out. He's probably serving the plates there as well. I mean, what a pro's pro, Acup. And I love the way Billy Richmond just took a whole nother step around mid-conference play. Went from sort of being a glue guy, energy guy, to somebody you really had to fear on the offensive end. I thought Malik Thomas did pretty fine with Acup out too. I mean, you know, he wasn't going to pass up any shots with Acup out of that last regular season game.
Yeah, Arkansas closed the season with a win in Columbia against Mizzou. Trevin Brazil, former Tiger, had a great game. Carolina steal. Johnson leads the break and will reset.
Look how that Oklahoma team gets back. In those last 5 games, they're only allowing 3.5 fast break points, and it's not by luck. I mean, you see the energy they sprint back on what ordinarily would have been an easy 2 against anybody else.
Give another assist to Meechie Johnson. Sharon Johnson with the 3. And Porter Moser needs a timeout. It is a 13-point lead for South Carolina. They average 8 made threes a game. They've already made 7. A sizzling start from deep for South Carolina.
I think if it's at the risk of a contested 2 for Meechie Johnson over your teammate, or drawing an extra defender so he can kick it out for an open 3, you see if Johnson can make the 2, not give up the wide open 3.
It's a 7-0 run for South Carolina. They have 5 players with a made 3, and at some point, if you're the Oklahoma assistant practice scout, you've got to be asking, who is this team in black? Because I haven't seen them shoot like this. And Porter Moser says our goal is to limit them to 20 or fewer 2s. They've only made 5 to this point. But 5 different players with a 3?
Yeah. This is the South Carolina team they imagined in the offseason, and I think you nailed it. They're playing loose, they're playing confident, but I think it also is the fact that they're sharing the ball so well, and they're getting shots where they expect to get them. And you can tell there's no hesitation at all.
Previous play was Oklahoma ball. That played to get challenged by South Carolina.
Lamont Paris thought that that went off of Oklahoma and out of bounds. And so he has offered up a challenge. Bart Lennox, Steven Anderson, and Chuck Jones, our trio of officials tonight. That was quick.
After review, the challenge is successful. It'll be South Carolina ball on the baseline.
They retain possession of that challenge. Off the hand of Tay Davis after the Sherm Johnson tip.
They were all over that was the South Carolina bench. And you're right, this Oklahoma team has been playing with a sense of urgency, desperate, and one of the hottest teams in the SEC. But you wouldn't know it the way this first half is going. And what a crucial 6 minutes. I mean, you got to get this thing at or below 10 points, so you're not coming back from a huge deficit, because this is a South Carolina team that will just milk clock, put you in the grinder or in the half court, and make it very hard to get a bunch of runs.
One bubble team in the SEC already won today. That was Auburn, paying back Mississippi State with a dominating performance. And so Stephen Pearl's team is still kicking. Three ball good for Nigel Pack. That's his second of the game.
Yeah, that's just too short of a closeout by Ellis. He was there, his hand was up, but there was way too much space between he and Pack for a veteran shooter like that to see a clean rim.
Mike Sherm-Johns gets the string, working on Forsythe. They double down and dig in, and Jones with the steal. And then Sherm-Johns whistled for the foul, trying to get it back.
Go back to that Pack three. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to get out there sooner. That is a short closeout. Look at Ellis where his feet are. He's got to get a hand up, play it there, but it's just too late. And you got to go out and try to make him put it on the deck and know your personnel. An open corner three for Pack is one that's just easy money for him.
He leads all active Division I players in career threes made. Pack, that is now 416 threes in his winding career that started at Kansas State. Took him to Miami for 3 years and now to Northern.
Well, he and Brown both have had their moments this season. The problem was early in conference play, it was Pack would play good, Brown would have an off night. Brown would play good, Pack would have an off night. Now they're playing better at the same time, and as a result, they are scoring or assisting on 47 points per game.
Well, who's Pack on the inbounds, and he knocks down the two.
Good creative play there. Oftentimes you want to use your best shooter as a screener. You either get one guy open or get yourself open afterwards.
Carolina, another three. This one belongs to Kobe Knox. They have now matched their season average with 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
The South Carolina team last in the SEC at three-point field goal percentage, on fire.
St. Davis answered.
McGee has twice now had that short roll. He's hit a cutter to start the game. That time, terrific vision, finding the open man on the perimeter.
Sooners have made their last three. That is a ball thought to be tip. I think they just threw it out of bounds. But South Carolina red hot for me.
Yeah, again, it's all about penetration, though. And I think Johnson's putting enough pressure on the help, and then a good job of finding the open man, because South Carolina's going to collapse on that roll. You got to make quick reads and quick passes. Nice job by the center.
Porter Moser heard from his video crew. They did not challenge that one. Had time to. Here's Michi. Going to work. Ooh, almost went. He'll go to the free throw line.
Really tough cover. When he's got that bounce, he's got the green light for unlimited dribbles. And it's not that he's doing wasted dribbles. He's sizing up the defense. And as soon as they start hesitating with, you know, a contest and not really sure where he's going, is he going to pull up? Is he going to drive? He's just reading the defense, trying to lull them to sleep a little bit, and then he'll pick the pull-up, the step-back three, or sometimes go all the way to the rim.
Michi Johnson and his family, good friends with LeBron James. In fact, Michi is a youngster. In 2018, was in the locker room after LeBron's final game with Cleveland. Lost to Golden State in the finals. Dad and LeBron played against each other in high school. And Michi makes another.
Who's the coolest guy you have in your cell phone contacts? I think you're going to lose that one.
Ron Slay. Yeah, I got him in there as Sleigh Ride and Boom Boom.
He's supposed to bring wings on Friday. I bet they're making those in the Boom Boom room. You know who I don't think's allowed in the Boom Boom room?
Dari,
the health inspector. I'm not eating those things. Those expired chicken wings, I ain't touching them.
the health inspector.
I'll get some Wingstop DoorDash or something.
Here's Michi Johnson for three.
I saw Slay when we left practice this morning, and he was already here working. He was suited up, and he was walking out to the back door. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, my brother's dropping off a smoothie." I don't want to know what was in that homemade smoothie. And they get a whistle and a foul against South Carolina. K-Puch underneath. That'll send us to a timeout. 4-minute timeout. It's a 9-point South Carolina lead. The Gamecocks playing out of their minds early on. A lot of people come to downtown Nashville and lose their minds. Tootsie's is the site, Lower Broadway. Dane will be there with Slade later on tonight. Come get your autographs.
As much as I love Acuff's game, Boozer's been sensational this year. Best player, best team, and his job's going to get a little bit tougher, though, with the point guard situation there with the Duke Blue Devils having an injury.
Well, you know, Arkansas General Manager Chris Willard had promised to bring you a steak from Ruby's tonight, but that is off the board now since you're not giving this guy the love. Here's Tay Davis at the free throw line.
There was a point in the season where I thought there was a case to be made. I'm a big Thomas Houck fan at Florida. I thought, you know what? Because he hadn't put up the gaudy numbers as Acuff has, but they're blowing people out, that there might be an argument there. And then the next night, Acuff went off for 49 and continued his 27 points per game over the last 6 or whatever it was.
I was on Slay's radio show this week. It's the only time he ever invites me on. We were talking about Houck, and here was my conclusion. I have so much respect for that Florida program. I think Thomas Houck is the best player on that team, but if you took him away, they have so many other weapons, they could still be a very successful program. Florida shoot.
But his versatility to be able to play the three is what's allowed Florida to play their best 5 guys and have them on the court, as opposed to having somebody have to back up Houck at the 4. And that front line's been vicious. Nice play, Davis.
Went right into Strong. Reed with the left.
Well, slowly but surely, Oklahoma has made this deficit much more manageable. At the 6-minute mark, it was around 13 or so, and you didn't want to create too big of a hole.
36-23 lead at the end of a 7-0 South Carolina run. Ellis got some space after the pump fake. Michi Johnson, no good. And rebounded by Xavier Brown. Up ahead, two-hand jam. Nobody got back for South Carolina. Jadon Jones has his first bucket. It's now a 1-possession game. Timeout South Carolina. 6-0 Oklahoma run. Back in 30 seconds.
Few transition opportunities in this game. Both teams really good at getting back, but not this time. Just an advanced pass. Jones ordinarily looking for his 3-point shot, but saw a clear path. And you see this Oklahoma team starting to find a rhythm. And I think in the second half, are they going to defend the 3 better? Yes. But the other thing you got to look out for if you're Oklahoma is, I don't think Michi Johnson's going to be 0 for 3 from the floor either in the second half. So it's not just about defending the 3 for the Sooners.
South Carolina 8 of 14 from deep. And you would assume a return to the mean for the Gamecocks. That is their average, 8 made threes a game. Johnson picked up by Forsythe on the switch. Went right into him and picked up the foul.
They got the switch, but that's one of those ghost screens where there was really no contact or screen. Not knowing exactly what the scouting report said in those situations, but that's one you don't really have to switch if you want to keep the matchup that you had on the ball with Reed.
Two coming for Michi. Tomorrow 6 o'clock right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to the SEC Women's Tournament. Texas won it. You get a behind-the-scenes look at never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches. And since then, Kevin Durant announced his newest investment. Madison Booker has an exclusive Nike deal thanks to KD.
I never got one of those phone calls.
No? Well, don't hold your breath. Nice spin move. Whoa, my goodness. How did he throw it down? Darion Reed.
At no point after that spin move was I anticipating a dunk. I mean, Reed showed you his athleticism here. Gets the body weight. He feels the lean from the defender. When you double clutch like that, typically you're thinking he's going to finish over on the other side of the basket and just double pumps. Wow. Big time finish for Reed, who has had so much success getting himself to the free throw line.
He's been in double figures 12 of the last 14. Now he's one off of that, and Oklahoma's got 4 dunks already. We'll see Georgia tomorrow against Ole Miss. Georgia leads the country in dunks. 10 on the shot clock. Johnson working on Pack. Veteran versus veteran. Leans in, got a piece of it, blocked by Oklahoma. Shot clock going to run out from the logo. And a shot clock violation forced by Oklahoma.
You see the energy not only from the guys on the court, but the bench decorum that Oklahoma has. You can tell how connected this team is. They understand what's at stake. Been really impressed with the last 5 minutes of play that this Sooner team has shown.
OU's made 6 of its last 8. To Reed.
Moser really wanted a foul on that. He felt like there was contact with his player in the air.
To shoot. Michi Johnson from 16 feet, no good. Loose ball. Scrum for it. They're diving after it. Michi gets fouled in the backcourt by Nigel Pack, who picks up his second and may be injured.
Pack immediately grabbed the back of his head there. Great effort. Pack was considering diving for 2 or 3 steps. He was trying to get close enough to get there. And by the time he felt comfortable enough to lay his body out, it's too late. Back of his head right there on the court.
Second personal for Pack. He'll sit the rest of the half. Eight-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Michi Johnson 0 for 5 this half. He's a leading scorer, nearly 17 a game. Ellis hesitated, blocked by Oklahoma. Sooners looking for a tie, heading into the locker room. Jadon Jones off the window.
What a close to this half by Oklahoma, pitching a shutout defensively in terms of field goals, and then getting out and running when the opportunity presents itself.
1 to play in the first half, and the clock runs out on that possession for South Carolina. Porter Moser's team has fought its way back in this half, just like they fought their way back this season. 2 double-figure scores for Oklahoma, Tay Davis and Nigel Pack. Oklahoma has given us a fantastic comeback in the first half. Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication has given us Dari Noka, and he will host his crew to break down this and the rest of the day. Let's get you to Dari.
Thank you very much, Tom.
The Sooners started to look like the same Sooner team we've seen over the past 5 games.
South Carolina cooled after that red-hot start, just 3 for the Gamecocks last 15, while Oklahoma flipped the script and scored 14 of the last 17. My man Meechie Johnson, though, 0 for 6 in the first half. Most misses in any half this season in his college career. Hanging on the outcome of the next 20 minutes of this.
They'll still have their full attention. Yes, you might be able to limit South Carolina's threes as we discussed, but keeping Meechie Johnson down to a donut in the first half on the field, probably not going to happen.
Elijah Strong only had 1 bucket in the first half. Here's Knox. A scramble, absolute scrum, and it comes out of there into the Sooners' hands. Here's Nigel Pack. 10 points in the first half. He finds Wagee, and he banks it in. First bucket of the night from Muhammad Wagee.
And that's Wagee's ability to flip the screen multiple times there as he was trying to get the right angle. Look, he's going to come set the drag, then he flips it the other way, then he rolls. And so as a defender, you think Pack is going to come off the left going that way, but then at the last second, Wagee changes his angle and gets a different level screen, leading to a pick and roll.
Wagee makes it a 3-point play. South Carolina, the last 5:24 of the first half, went 0 for 8. They missed 3 threes, 3 jumpers, and a pair of layups. Meechie Johnson left alone off the screen, no good. Rebounded by Oklahoma and Wagee.
You can't get a better look than that. A nice screen. Just one of those nights so far.
And late to get a hand up on Pack, who banks on the triple.
This guy is just deadly from deep. Anywhere on the court, off the bounce, off the catch. Nigel Pack's been doing this a long time. Averages over 3 3-point makes a game.
6-year college basketball out of Lawrence Central in Indianapolis. Home of the Final Four. Here's Knox. Meechie Johnson tries to drive, and he finally rolls one home.
I like how he really put his head down there. He could have shot the jumper, and he thought, you know what, I'm just going to try to get closer. Let me see one go in, and then work my way out.
He had produced 7 points from the free throw line, but that's his first field goal of the game in 8 tries. Out to Pack again. 3 again.
They have executed that perfectly, and they hit the big man in the middle again in that short roll, and he knows where his shooter's going to be on the perimeter. He's got 2 options. He could hit down low or kick to the wing based on where the defense goes.
Johnson got stuck inside. Here's Walker. South Carolina has been primarily perimeter oriented since about the first 10 minutes of the first half. Elijah Strong says, yeah, we can live from out here. They've changed their identity in 1 game.
He sees an outstretched hand, but that doesn't stop him from letting it fly. And he's a guy that can get it going quick and score in bunches.
Sharon Johnson with the shove. It's his 3rd personal.
Nigel Pack already 4 of 7 in this one, and right now this is just too simple. They just get mixed up. If you're going to switch, you better switch out and up, not laterally on him. And then when they hit the big man on that short roll, he knows where his shooter is in the on the wing. And if they get out on Pack on that, Wagee has another man down low he can shoot.
Back with the drive, fell off the rim. 6'9" guard Sharon Johnson gives it up. Extra pass to Knox. Back out to Meechie Johnson. That was so deliberate, it's almost like he's processing whether or not he should shoot it. And now 0 for 6 from 3.
You know, Lamont Paris is saying all season long we couldn't get anybody outside of Meechie Johnson to make a shot, and then when everybody starts making them, it's Meechie Johnson that can't buy one.
Here's Pat. How far out do you have to extend the defense on Pat?
Yeah, I think even more than that. Pat does a good job there, getting in front of strong offensive foul. Just another reason why Oklahoma has been so good with their transition defense. They were already elite, and over the past 5 games, they've been even better. Pat just getting in front of the traffic there, sells it, gets strong and cheap foul. Oklahoma doesn't have a lot of bigs, so that means they could be quick at multiple positions, and that really plays to their advantage in transition with their ability to get back in a hurry.
Well, Pack's taken a couple of shots in this game. Remember late first half, chasing a loose ball, fell and banged his head on the hardwood. That time the 250-pound Strong put him down. Pack to Forsythe. Shovels it inside. Darion Reed got it! What a play by Darion Reed!
Well, that starts with a great read from Forsythe, because that's the second time he's been able to find the teammate on the baseline against this South Carolina defense. It's a long pass, but he sees an opening there, and Reed's ability to finish some acrobatic, tough shots.
3-point play for Darion Reed.
Right now, this Oklahoma team has things figured out with South Carolina's half-court defense, and I think you got to consider switching up the coverage just a little bit to keep it out of the middle of the court.
Long kick on the rebound. Strong saves it, but saves it to Oklahoma. Reed again. Fouled again. That one charged to Eli Walker. 7-point Oklahoma lead. The Sooners playing for their postseason lives, trying to play their way into the big dance. Dancing their way here in Nashville, a 7-point advantage. But now Jadon Jones and Porter Moser's team in position thanks to 4 wins in their last 5 games. And in that span, second in the league in 3-point percentage, first in free throw rate. They're getting out and stopping the opponent's fast break, and number 2 efficiency in the league.
Yeah, and I think really that bottom one of opponent paint points per game is why they've made the biggest jump. On the season, they couldn't defend the 2. They couldn't guard the ball. Teams were crushing them in the paint. They didn't have great rim protection, but what they've done is they have really loaded up, used their guards to be in help position early, forced teams to shoot more threes, and that's allowed them to keep teams out of the paint despite not having the front court depth that maybe they would like to have.
Lenardi's got them among the next 4 out, but as I talked about earlier, a lot of the bubble teams in front of them have fallen on their face. Indiana lost its regular season finale, lost to Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. Reed saves it behind his back to Jadon Jones.
That's the best floor dive you'll see all day right there from Reed. Unbelievable effort.
Tate Davis for 3. That's an air ball, but it's picked up by Jones and saved. Back to Reed. Jams it home.
That's a highlight reel for Reed. If they want a culture clip, it is right there. Dive on the floor on one end, hustle back, run the offense, screen, roll, finish above the rim.
Turnaround 2 is good. Forsythe went flying, but Kobe Knox gets his first bucket of the second half. And they're going to mop up where Forsythe went flying. Darion Reed.
Everybody else is staring at the ball. Who's going to pick it up? And he flies in as others are watching. Then the awareness to find his teammate and then finishes off the play here. He's playing some of the best basketball of the season, and the less reliant he's been on the three-point line, the more he's embraced getting to the rim, the better his production has been.
Ball fake by Reed. Looking for an assist to Pat. And he tracks down the miss.
And these smaller lineups are harder to box out. The long rebounds just become like 50-50 balls.
Looking for another assist. And then he gets whistled for the push-up on Studi.
South Carolina, you just see them battling, but they need something good to happen on this offensive possession. They've been in a big-time drought since being red hot to start this game, and no Meechie Johnson on the court. Where are they going to get the offense from?
Oklahoma is +7 in the second half, and then a turnover by Eli Ellis.
Eli Ellis has a bright future, a smart player, elite competitor, but in the SEC, when you're going up against so many athletes, such speed, it's a big-time adjustment for a freshman at this level.
It was like danger zone for South Carolina. This game was tied at 42 at the half. The first time all season South Carolina's been tied at the half. Darion Reed for 3.
And there's that catch and stick that he has right there. The first time he got him up with the pump fake, that time it sees the defender back off.
One of 10 McDonald's All-Americas in Oklahoma history. Transferred in from Alabama. Went to Elite 8 with Nate Oates' team. Can't touch, no good. Jones the rebound to Forsythe. Skip to Brown. Good pick up by Studi. Here it is turned over. Knox finds it. Knox on the run. Can't push. Blocked from behind by Jones. And extra pushing and shoving. Spicing up the late night here in Nashville.
Porter Mosier's asking them to review that as his guy got held. He felt like Jones did a really nice job of not getting engaged with the trash talk. He didn't like that hit, but Jones walked right into him, and Knox reacted. Usually it's the second guy that gets caught.
Talking with Steven Anderson.
Yeah, if they do give out any technicals on that, I'd be okay if it was double. I felt like Jones walking into him really provoked him for Knox in that reaction. So it's a kind of a hard foul there. Knox doesn't love it, and he's going to walk right into him. Certainly just trying to frustrate him.
Would you rather have a double?
After review, common foul stands will be South Carolina ball on the baseline.
Or nothing.
Yeah,
which I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
Main thing is I didn't feel like Knox should just be the only person involved in that. I'm okay with the decision there by the officials.
But what we don't know is if Porter Mosier appealed that or if they went over there on their own. I believe they went on their own. And so Oklahoma wouldn't be charged a timeout.
Bigger thing for South Carolina, they got to get a bucket. I mean, this is their third field goal attempt on this possession. They got it in transition, unable to finish through contact at the rim. They get the offensive rebound. They get their shot blocked by a guard. Now they get their third opportunity.
Knox has played great for him tonight. Here's Sharon Fox, and he gets it to go.
And that all started with the way he caught that ball on the run as the defender was expecting him to catch it in more of a triple threat shoot mentality.
It ended up in the right man's hands, but Reed thought it was coming for him.
They want to get Tay Davis. They like the matchup.
Down to Barkley Ellis, out to Forsythe. And then Davis sent Ellis flying.
And Ellis isn't going to back down. And he held his own on the post up, and then even more importantly on the box out.
You said you couldn't log into your TikTok account, but you watched Ellis talk trash in an OTE game.
Oh, yeah. He's been known for that. And, I mean, this kid's tough. And if anything, he said, look, when celebrities and NBA players would come watch our games, I would talk trash to get their attention so they would watch me more. And in fact, Donovan Mitchell started paying more attention to him, and he gave him some advice on where to get his ball screens coming off the side as opposed to the middle, where he could have more spacing coming down the left or the right.
Davis whistled for 2 fouls in 17 seconds. Winner of this one gets Texas A&M tomorrow night. Got a banger to start the game tomorrow. Missouri and Kentucky. Tigers won at Rupp Arena for the first time ever earlier this season. Knox left it short, got it back, banks it in.
Yeah, sometimes your best offense can just be a missed shot. Good job. Knox following up his own miss there.
What kind of big blue meltdown would we have had on our hands had Kentucky lost to LSU to start the day?
Everybody's always trying to play for the worst case scenario. What happens if they don't lose? Did y'all ever think about that going into a game?
Xavier Brown's got a half dozen. Terrell jumps 6'9".
That's a good opportunity. If you can get the ball back inside, get an offensive rebound. As McGee not in the game yet.
Brown whistled for the reach-in. Oklahoma trying to close this one out. Play on till tomorrow and keep their big dance hopes alive. Nigel Pack wants to go dancing once again. He has knocked down a ton of shots. He's got 16. Darian Reed has been the unquestioned energy leader for Oklahoma, up by 8. Mongolian Mike, as he's known, started his college career at Dayton and San Francisco. Utah has showed up at South Carolina, has given him 10 points and 5.5 boards. Dale Brown must have done a lot of international travel because he discovered the Mongolian shark, and he was always out directing camps and looking for the next big thing. There's a professional league in Mongolia. 4 of the teams, 8 teams, reside in Mike's hometown, Ulaanbaatar. And even our buddy DeMarcus Cousins played in the Mongolian League. Did you hear what he said this week on the podcast with Michelle Beadle?
No.
He said, man, I was really surprised. I went over there and they asked me what my favorite meal was, and I asked for Mongolian beef. And they said, that's just beef.
That's great. I love it. Remember when DeMarcus Cousins, his cell phone number got out? And I think that was a road win at Mississippi State, and he had to call me sign as he dominated the Bulldogs. Still doesn't change the fact that he had to get a new cell phone.
Macy Johnson bangs one home.
You know, this could change everything. A shooter like him, seeing one go in. I mean, Oklahoma, it feels like, has been in such control of this game since the last 5 minutes of the first half. But you look up and it's, hey, just a 5-point game, and this South Carolina team likes to win ugly.
First 3 in 7 tries for Meechie Johnson in this game. Pack threw it out to nobody. Shot clock expiring. 3-ball. Good! Jadon Jones at the shot clock buzzer.
They just get bailed out by Jones, making a big-time shot as Lamont Paris just shakes his head.
And that kind of season for Carolina, and a foul on Oklahoma.
And the ball gets out here to begin with on really an errant pass. And Jones just scoops it up. And the lefty transfer from Long Beach State knocks it down.
It was the 3rd on Darian Reed. So he'll take a seat along with Brown. Johnson with a screen for Meechie Johnson. And he draws a foul on Jones. Well, for South Carolina, Meechie Johnson had a very inefficient first half, still with 4 assists. But on top of that, Elijah Strong, who had 17 in the first matchup with Oklahoma, including the first 11 of the game, has been MIA. He is just 2 for 4 tonight in 12 minutes.
I think that's been one of the problems Coach Paris has had is night in, night out, you just don't know what you're going to get from each player. And it hadn't necessarily been an effort thing he was complaining about. It's just shot making. And as a coach, you want to be able to go into a game knowing percentage-wise, hey, I know this guy's not our best shooter. Probably can't expect much from him, but he's going to defend. Hey, this guy might be a liability defensively sometimes, but he's going to knock down shots. It just seems like game in, game out, he doesn't know what he's going to get from each player, especially on the offensive end.
Kentucky and Missouri tomorrow to get things started. 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Here's Forsythe. Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, and Alyssa Lang on the call to get us started tomorrow. Near turnover.
Some great rematch, revenge opportunities as Kentucky dropped that one to Missouri. As you mentioned, Ole Miss and Georgia. Remember, Patton Pinkins hit that tip-in buzzer beater to take down the Bulldogs.
South Carolina wanted to get a sub in. They didn't do it quickly enough. Ellis stuck on the bench. 6 on the shot clock. Pack, top of the key 3.
Where he came from in that corner, gets a couple screens. And when you get predictable shots, you know where to expect the ball, your percentages go up.
9 minutes to play. 9-point lead. Johnson navigates the baseline, banks it in. Pack took another shot. This is the 3rd time he's taken a shot above the shoulders. They're going to take a look at that one and see if a flagrant may be in play on the drive.
Right, Pack has taken a beating in this game.
Previous play is under review. Officials' discretion.
Pack helped to his feet by the athletic training staff. Number 9 in white. And the elbow got him with an uppercut.
I don't see anything there that could get it upgraded as Meechie Johnson goes into the defender.
After review, call stands.
You know, I think what's interesting about that play, relative to some of the other plays we've seen that have turned into flagrants, even just today in the SEC tournament, Meechie Johnson's got 2 hands on the ball. He's going up strong and finishing, as opposed to 1 hand on the ball and the off arm turning into a clear out.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also when you're bringing your elbows vertical, jumping up and down, as opposed to swinging them left to right, that's the difference. I think it's a great point by you. Had he shot it with one hand, and yeah, great point. Good job. First of the season. All right. It's March. There's Cinderellas. There's upsets happening everywhere. Expect the unexpected, folks. Tom
Memories are made in March.
That's right.
We're going to finish strong. Here's Brown. Davis got 2 guys in the air, but nearly turned it over. Oklahoma's just tracking everything down.
Yeah, McGee really with a clutch save there. All for naught, though.
7-point deficit for South Carolina. 8:27 to play. Lamont Paris knows that Carolina's got to win to extend its season after a sub-500 year. Took a natural disaster for a sub-500 team to win the SEC tournament. And Georgia did after the tornado ripped through the Georgia Dome. Here's Johnson for 3. Off the mark.
They did everything they could. They ran about 6 different screens for 3 shooters.
Brown confident.
Brown has been such a steady force for this team. He doesn't force anything. He makes shots, and he takes care of the ball. That's what you want from your point guard.
Knox couldn't get it to go. Meanwhile, Oklahoma has made each of its last 3 shots. Sooners 7 points better since the break. Beautiful pass by Forsythe, and Davis will go to the free throw line. 10-point Oklahoma lead.
It's Xavier Brown, the Philly, Pennsylvania native, has come to play in this one. Nothing flashy, just the right read every time. Season opening, cash money. This one. And you think, all right, yeah, he's a three-point shooter. How much better can he get? How about this? Over the last 7 games, he's been 57% from 3. And I don't think it's just because he's gotten red hot. It's because this offense has put a huge emphasis on trying to get paint touches, get to the line more, and that's opened up better, higher quality three-point looks, and nobody's benefited more from that than Nigel Pack.
So think about this run that he's been on over the course of this season. Tonight is his 15th game with 4 threes or more. That's not only the best in the SEC, it's the most at Oklahoma since Trae Young did it in the 17-18 season. Touch pass to Darian Reed from Forsythe. Give Forsythe an assist.
I mean, this Oklahoma team is playing with such confidence. This is a good South Carolina defense. And they're doing to them what they've been doing to everybody else over the past month. They're shooting 60% from the field, 45% from 3. I'm telling you, I know their resume needs a little bit more work. But this is a team that could not only get into March, but do well in March with the way they're playing right now.
Porter Moser, as Oklahoma struggled over the course of this season, said we never skip the tape, the get better tape. I constantly told them what we needed to do to improve. And I constantly told him, almost like Groundhog Day, he said Bill Murray had it right, that there is a path, there is a path, there's a path after each and every game. They were so close. Missouri hit 2 buzzer beaters to knock off Oklahoma in Columbia.
And when all the critics were saying, what's going wrong in Oklahoma? Does he still have the locker room? You and I had the benefit of being in shoot-arounds, seeing the prep, seeing the guys engaged, and you knew that this team had belief, and you're exactly right. And that's the benefit of playing in the SEC is the quad 1 win opportunities. It's a little bit different rhythm than last year where they had the great non-conference. But he said there was a lot of similarities to a year ago where they had a long drought, they had a losing streak, and they found a way to win enough games in the SEC to propel them to Selection Sunday.
And I think part of the equation for Porter Moser and his staff early in conference play was the starting 5 was so strong. They're one of just 4 in the country to start the same 5 every game this season. But the bench needed help, it needed work. So they rotated through a lot of different guys. Now they have shrunk the bench. They're down to their tight crew. And the bench production and efficiency has gone through the roof.
And Dayton Forsythe getting healthy. I mean, he was not playing like he was as a freshman when he had a really promising first year, but he had a couple bad ankles, and now he's been averaging 9 points per game over the last 10. And when you get that bench production and you can rest those guys, because that was a big part of it, was Pack and Brown were having to carry so much load. They're playing too many minutes because he didn't trust his bench enough. That has completely changed. And it's no coincidence that Forsythe being healthy and this team playing better as a group has been connected at the hip.
Another one coming for Pack. He's got another 20-point game. So that difference, let's say Pack and Brown going from 33, 34 minutes a game to 28 minutes a game, makes a huge difference with the fresh legs.
It absolutely does. And I think it also just the confidence from all the players in the rotation. When guys expect and they know where to get their minutes from, it's no surprise that teams start playing better.
A couple of pump fakes for Ellis, and he gets it to roll home. And Strong took a shot to the midsection, but it says he's, it's actually his elbow. It says he's okay.
You got a little taste of what Eli Ellis's game is. Penetration, spin, pump fake. Try to bait you into jumping, and if you don't, he can still finish through some contact.
Elijah Strong's going to exit the game. He didn't want to leave, tried to stay in. He'll immediately go down and talk with South Carolina's longtime athletic trainer, Mark Rogers. "14-point Oklahoma lead." Nice finishing shot by Tay Davis. This is an Oklahoma program that has a long, storied history. The Sooners are +7 over 500 in conference postseason action. They won the Big 8 tournament title 4 times. Playing 3 straight Big 12 tournament titles from 01 to 03. Nearly stolen by Brown.
Nice job there by Brown. We saw it in our first matchup. When the offense spins, that's when you can gamble and leave your man to surprise them. Brown, such a heads-up, high IQ player.
Meechie Johnson back on the floor. Xavier Brown started his college career playing at St. Joe's, where his dad was an assistant coach. Johnson drives and kicks.
I don't think he had to kick that one. He had the driving lane.
Instead, Mongolian Mike drops in mid-range jump.
We'll see if they got one more push in them. This South Carolina team has been resilient all year. They've stuck with it. And right now, you've just got to resist the temptation of trading buckets, knowing that your season's coming close to an end here. Lay it all out there, see if you can't put one more run together.
Sooners have made 6 straight. The longest stretch of the night. Gamecocks get a stop. Here's Meechie Johnson. Sheriff John skips it to Studi. Here's Studi for 3. You know, Dane, you did your homework and you made this really fancy. Your research created through our experts a really fancy graphic about Meechie Johnson's range.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any of that tonight.
I did put a lot of work into that. I had to go through all these filters and look up somebody else's statistical research.
You know that's what you get paid to do, right?
Yeah.
That's what the money's for, as Don Draper would say.
He could fill it up from deep, but it just hadn't been this one. Been his night, but yeah, his range. Great
Stolen
job.
away. Danon Jones kicks it out. Wow, 3 ball.
They are. I mean, they're just so confident. But going back to Meechie Johnson, the difference was when we covered him at South Carolina in his first stint, if he wasn't shooting well, you didn't feel like he was impacting the game much. Now, when he doesn't shoot it well, he still has an impact on the game because of his scoring, or excuse me, passing ability.
81-64, the Oklahoma lead. Can the Sooners stick around? Get back to 3-shade affair. Apparently, Slay's having a dance party. So
Dara used to always get frustrated with me in studio because I wouldn't glance up at him. I would just look down at my screen during highlights, and I'm supposed to have some eye contact of when to jump in and out. And never really got that fixed. That's why I'm down here with you.
Yeah. We all have our cross to bear. How about this one? Dari Corleone. Dari Corleone, we've got a leader in the clubhouse, the Godfather.
I love it.
Yeah, still working on it. Oklahoma is shooting 78% from 2 tonight.
It's not just them being on a hot night. I mean, this Oklahoma team said it over and over again. They've got an identity. They've enhanced their strengths, and they have fixed their weaknesses. And I don't know anybody that wants to play this team right now.
No, I agree with that. And to the point that Porter Moser called it Groundhog Day with his repetitive message to his team that there is a path as Xavier Brown hits a fadeaway. It's like coming around the corner and seeing Ned Ryerson. They're just going to punch him right in the mouth and keep winning games and try to make it to the NCAA tournament. Here's Meechie. Picks it up.
The ground had
Yeah, it was the guy Bill Murray punched in the
Watch your step. It's going to be a doozy.
Needle-nosed Ned. You got nothing on that, huh?
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Okay, well, the second piece of homework for you tonight is go back to your hotel room and watch Groundhog Day.
Wow, look at that. Almost 3 guys, 20 plus.
Davis a bucket away from the 20. Carolina picking up the pressure now under 3 minutes to play. You could hear Lamont Paris say no as they broke the press, but it turns into a takeaway anyway. Jordan Butler first playing time of the night. 7-footer on the floor.
You know, from a bracketology standpoint with this Oklahoma team, as Knox gets the and one, this was a game that could not necessarily help them, could only hurt them. But with the other teams you mentioned in and around the bubble that have been losing, that allows Oklahoma to jump a little bit, you would think, and then get themselves in a position to have a quad 1 win opportunity against an A&M team they played extremely close not too long ago.
Cincinnati knocked off UCF, or pardon me, lost UCF, and UCF had lost 3 in a row. Everybody on that list lost. The exception is San Diego State. They'll get the winner of Colorado State and Fresno tomorrow in the Mountain West Conference tournament. And New Mexico, by the way, sorry to interrupt, is coming off of a loss in their series finale.
You come into this, you're like, all right, we might not be able to help our resume too much, but you can watch others mess up their resume, and Oklahoma took care of business. I thought they did a terrific job too. They're a little bit shell-shocked when South Carolina just started bombing threes, and the way they closed out the first half is really where I felt like this game was won, and they carried it over into the second.
Pack off to Karam. They get to the middle floor again, out to Forsythe.
That's been their best offense.
I think the best comp for what Oklahoma is trying to do right now in relation to the bubble is like a golf tournament. Everybody in front of them is in the clubhouse over par, and while they're over par themselves, they still have plenty of holes left to try and get under and try to pass those guys up. And by the way, one of those teams that would be in front of them, Auburn, is playing for the same thing.
Yep.
SEC set a record for tournament teams last year. Had 2 #1 seeds in the national championship, 2 in the Final Four.
Talk about Texas, Texas A&M, Missouri, Oklahoma, Auburn, all those teams. Some feel safer than others, but this deep SEC, and it feels like roughly 40% of the teams projected in the field are coming into this conference tournament a little bit nervous. I feel like they got maybe one more game of work to do.
Here's Xavier Brown at the free throw line. You know, in college football, we have a weekly rankings show, whereas in college basketball, we get a look at what the committee's thinking with a 16 reveal, and then we don't hear from them. Yeah. Which way would you rather have it?
I'd probably take the weekly update.
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah. I didn't know it was such a delicate topic for you. I really hadn't put that much thought into it. I'll change my mind.
I think the mystery of it lends a lot to the show that we all tune in to watch on Selection Sunday. And by the way, we'll have it here on ESPN, and the SEC Network will have its own version after the field is announced. And the bracketologists do a great job of trying to keep you up to date with where those last 4 to 8 teams land. The rest of the field, I mean, we know.
Yeah. And in this league in particular, the way teams have been able to cover ground and fairly quickly too. I don't know that, 3-4 weeks ago we were talking about Florida as a potential 1 seed. I mean, we had them at Texas. We're like, if they win this, they might be considered a 3 seed. And then they climbed, and then they climbed again. All they did was keep taking care of business while others started to drop. And then you see Alabama as well, who's gotten on a hot streak. Other than losing that 1 game at Georgia, they've been flawless lately.
We saw Florida for the first time this season in December, first week of December. They had already suffered a couple of tough losses, turnovers late in games, cost some opportunities. Todd Golden was never
stressed about it. He knew the talent he had, and while they're looking for a sixth man to come along, and Klobuchar certainly did, that backcourt has really picked it up.
Yeah, and they've got the front court, as we all know. But then you mentioned the backcourt play, the bench play, and then the three-point shooting. Those were the three things you could say, yeah, their front court's good, but A, B, and C. They've made A, B, and C be above average. They don't need them to be great, but man, have they been really good. And the Florida team, I thought earlier in the season, hey, this is wide open SEC. 14-4 might win the league. 13-5 maybe. And Florida went 16-2.
And Dane, that's why you don't work in the studio.
No, that had something to do with Darleone or whatever you call him. Darleone.
Kicked you right out. 23 now for Nigel Pack.
And he smiles and gives me a high five every time he sees me. Like I don't know.
He hugs you while he stabs you in the back.
That's right.
Eli Sparkman on the floor. There he is. Legend.
Best dimple tie game, by the way.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Comes upon it honestly. A lot of work in front of the mirror.
Nigel Pack. How about this guy? You know what? Anybody that's followed the game, Nigel Pack, he's kind of the face of the first big NIL deal. He transferred to Miami from Kansas State and was reportedly $400,000 a year. And everybody went crazy thinking that's not sustainable. There's no way anybody's going to keep doing this. Now, good luck getting, your reserve for that amount of money. And it's gone crazy.
Ellis sneaks it in. Under a minute to play. Meechie Johnson is done for the night, and that will bring a close to his illustrious career. They're not going to build a statue for Meechie Johnson, but man, what a great player and so much fun to watch over his career. Back to Nashville in just a moment. Oklahoma by a dozen. Final 39.7 seconds of day number 1 of the SEC tournament. You know, the league expanded a couple years ago. We used to just have 2 games on this day. We expanded it to a full 4 games. I love the fact that every team in the league gets a chance to extend its season. They're coming here.
Some quality games on Wednesday night with huge level of importance. We saw Auburn, you mentioned, Oklahoma. And Kentucky, look, that was a team that wasn't on the bubble, but they needed a little bit of a get-right game.
Well, yeah, I mean, they lose that one. You fall into an 8-9 game. Now, all of a sudden, you're playing a 1 seed if you win that first round.
And the host city is furious.
Yes, that's right. The ticket brokers are selling plasma. Xavier Brown will try to run out the clock. One last shot for Oklahoma. McGee goes over the back. Sooners will advance. This will be win number 18 on the season and the 5th in a row for Porter Moser. There was a time when they were off to this awful start where it looked like his job was in jeopardy.
Well, that January they had was pretty brutal, but they shortened their rotation, but they got healthier, changed a few things as we mentioned. And I thought really the road win they had at Vanderbilt, where they had a huge lead, but they hung on late. Like if that big lead gets blown, I'm not sure we're seeing this version of Oklahoma. They had to have something good happen to them. They survived that game, got the huge win at Vanderbilt, and the rest is history. This Oklahoma team, who nobody thought we'd be talking about as a potential selection Sunday candidate, they're on their way, man. This team's playing phenomenal basketball at the right time.
Sooners started league play at 1-9. Now they've won 7 of 9. And they get a rematch with Texas A&M to close the day tomorrow. Thursday slate is set. Mizzou and Kentucky to get things started, followed by Tennessee and Auburn, then Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, and Oklahoma. The top 4 seeds get to rest for another day. Florida won't take the court until Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. That's going to do it for Dane and I. SEC Now coming your way. Sleigh ride, fish, shooter, and Dino ready to take you through the rest of the night and recap this incredible day. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
All righty, guys. Thank you. So 4 games are in the books. These